In 2014, two men made national headlines. One was Richard Fuscone. He had an MBA from Harvard, an ultra-prestigious career at Merrill Lynch, and retired in his early 40s to a massive, custom-built mansion. Only a few years later, Richard was completely bankrupt, his sprawling mansion sold off at a foreclosure auction. The other man was Ronald Read. Ronald spent 25 years sweeping floors as a janitor at J.C. Penney and another 14 years pumping gas, but when Ronald died in 2014, his estate was worth $8 million. He didn't win the lottery. He didn't inherit a dime. How does a floor sweeper financially destroy one of Wall Street's brightest minds? It's because everything the school system taught you about getting rich is fundamentally wrong. We are taught that money is a math problem. If you memorize the formulas, you win. But as author Morgan Housel proves in his absolute masterpiece, The Psychology of Money, financial success isn't a hard science. It is a soft skill. It is one of the only fields on planet Earth where how you behave is vastly more important than how intelligent you are. If you've been feeling anxious about your finances, or if you feel like you're pushing a boulder uphill while everyone around you is somehow getting ahead, pay close attention. Today, we are breaking down the 5 most profound, life-changing psychological shifts from Morgan Housel's book. Spend the next 10 minutes with me, and I promise, you will never look at a dollar bill the same way again. Secret number 1, the highest dividend. What is the actual point of money? Most people think it's to buy nicer things, a bigger house, a louder car, a heavier Rolex. But Morgan Housel argues that money's greatest intrinsic value, and this cannot possibly be overstated, is its ability to give you absolute control over your time. Think about it like this. You could be making $600,000 a year, but if you have to work 80 hours a week, report to a boss you despise, and you can't take a Tuesday morning off to watch your kids' school play, are you actually rich? You might have money, but you are completely bankrupt when it comes to time. Doing something you love on a schedule you can't control can feel exactly the same as doing something you hate. Using your wealth to buy time and options has a lifestyle benefit that no luxury good can ever compete with. Controlling your time is the highest dividend that money pays. Independence doesn't mean you stop working. It means you only do the work you like, with the people you like at the times you want. Which brings us to a harsh reality check. Secret number 2, the man in the car paradox. Imagine a sleek, roaring red Ferrari pulls up to a valet. Your eyes are instantly glued to the car. You think, wow, if I had that car, everyone would think I'm cool. Everyone would respect me. But guess what? You didn't even look at the driver. You don't care about the driver at all. You are only using the car to imagine yourself in the driver's seat. Morgan Housel calls this the man in the car paradox. You think you want a fancy car or a heavy gold watch, but what you actually want is respect and admiration from other people. And here's the crazy part. You are vastly more likely to gain respect and admiration through kindness, humility, and character than you ever will through horsepower and chrome. Spending money to show people how much money you have is the literal fastest way to have less money. A ton of people driving $100,000 cars are secretly drowning in debt, living paycheck to paycheck, terrified of missing a single payment. We constantly confuse being rich with being wealthy. Rich is current income. It's what you see. It's the sports car and the designer clothes. But wealth is what you don't see. Wealth is the money not spent. It's the investments compounding in the background. It's the ultimate freedom to quit your job tomorrow if you wanted to. Secret number 3, the disease of Maury. Let's look at a highly specialized doctor making $500,000 a year. By any metric in the history of the world, he is incredibly rich. He feels great about his life. That is, until he buys a vacation home in the Hamptons and realizes his neighbor is a CEO making $10 million a year. Suddenly, the doctor feels poor. But wait, it gets deeper. That CEO is friends with a legendary hedge fund manager making $100 million a year. The CEO now feels inadequate. And the hedge fund manager, he goes to a charity gala and ends up sitting next to Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos, who increase their net worth by tens of billions a year. There is always a bigger fish. Capitalism is phenomenal at generating wealth, but it is equally phenomenal at generating debilitating envy. Envy is exactly what causes incredibly smart, educated people to leverage their portfolios to the teeth, risk everything on a dangerous momentum trade, or act on insider information and end up sitting in a prison cell. To survive in the financial world, you have to develop a deeply ingrained sense of enough. Never, ever risk what you have and what you need, for what you don't have and don't need, just to impress people you don't even like. Secret number 4, the price of admission. Imagine you want a brand new Rolex. You walk into the store and you have two options. You can pay the $15,000 price tag, or you can try to smash the glass, steal it, and outrun the security guards. Most logical people know that you just have to pay the price. But when it comes to investing, people constantly try to steal the reward without paying the price. And in the stock market, the price isn't measured in dollars. It's measured in volatility, fear, doubt, and uncertainty. Everyone wishes they bought Netflix stock 15 years ago, but could you have survived the journey? Netflix has had multiple devastating downturns, including losing 80% of its total value in just a few months back in 2011. Could you have stomached looking at your portfolio, knowing your life savings was down 80%? Could you look your spouse in the eye and hold your nerve? Or would you have panic sold at the very bottom like everyone else? Volatility is not a fine you pay for doing something wrong. It is simply the price of admission you must pay for a brighter financial future. You have to be deeply optimistic about the long term, but intensely paranoid about the short term. You can't predict black swan events, pandemics, massive market crashes, or global conflicts. So instead of trying to predict the disaster, you must prepare for it mentally and financially so you can actually survive it. There is only one way to stay wealthy, some combination of extreme frugality and healthy paranoia. Which brings us to secret number 5, the seduction of pessimism. If I told you the economy is about to aggressively collapse next month because of rising national debt, massive inflation, and a new geopolitical crisis, you would listen intently. You might even sell all your stocks today. But if I told you that over the next 20 years, technology will make sustainable energy virtually free, medical breakthroughs will cure major diseases, and the global standard of living will reach all-time highs, you would probably shrug your shoulders and call me hopelessly naive. Why does a pessimist sound like a genius, while an optimist sounds like a fool? It's pure evolutionary biology. Our brains are hardwired to treat threats as wildly more urgent than opportunities. It kept our ancestors alive. Furthermore, progress happens incredibly slowly, while setbacks happen overnight. A market crash takes days. A market recovery takes years. It's significantly easier to create a terrifying, compelling story around a sudden disaster than a slow improvement. But expecting things to be bad is actually the best way to be pleasantly surprised when they aren't. Historically, the optimists are the ones who make all the true wealth. They understand that despite the constant stream of negative news, the long-term trajectory of human innovation and the stock market is relentlessly up. Morgan Housel wrote a masterpiece because he stripped away the confusing math, the complex spreadsheets, and the Wall Street jargon. He revealed the fundamental truth about money. Saving money is simply the gap between your ego and your income. You can build savings by spending less. You can spend less if you desire less. And you will desire less if you simply stop caring about what other people think of you. It doesn't matter if you sweep floors or trade hedge funds. Cultivate humility. Understand the difference between wealth and rich. Pay the price of volatility. And above all else, use your money to buy back your time. Because true wealth, ultimate wealth, is waking up in the morning and saying, I can do whatever I want today. If you are truly serious about mastering the psychology of money and buying back your freedom, you cannot afford to miss my next video, where we break down the exact tiny habits that build unbreakable net worth. Click the video on screen right now, and I'll see you there.